Hi, my name is Kristen Zook, and this is my introduction video. I have worked in the Shawnee Mission School District for 16 years. 13 of those I was a biology teacher and psychology for one of them at Shawnee Mission North and Shawnee Mission East. And then for 3 years, I've been an instructional coach. In the district, I was the only one for 2 years at all the high schools, and then this is my first year, and I'm actually at Shawnee Mission South. You can see there is a picture of my kids. My family, I have a husband who is a principal at Olathe Northwest, and then we have 4 kids there. 3 are in middle school, and 1 is in high school. And so we're all about education. It's a big part of our lives. I do have one child that has an IEP, so I've seen that aspect of that from the parent side as well as the teaching side. Reflection of how my school facilitates the use of appropriate content, materials, and learning strategies. It's kind of interesting because I have been at several different schools, but for years I was at the same one, and I actually taught a lot of the co-taught classes, the biology classes, and so I had several kids with special needs that I worked with. And for materials, I would say that part of the good thing is that because they were in co-taught classes, they had access to everything that all students should have access to in biology or in any of the classes. That's how we did that, so that they always had access to the same resources, and do here. But then also, if there are needs that are further than that, we have interventions in specifically reading and math that can be personalized to meet the needs of that student wherever they need that support. And then strategies, we do modifications and accommodations as needed based on student IEPs. We have instructional coaches at each of the buildings now that can work with teachers. So if there's a specific strategy that's needed and they're unsure of how to do that, the coaches can support that. We do use co-taught classes so that there's a content area teacher and then a special education teacher in those classes together, which is really a benefit for all the students in there. And then we have SIT teams, IEP teams, and then we've really working hard now on our MTSS, kind of the protocol, the interventions, what do those look like, and providing more access to teachers to understand that and have more resources. My own use, I wish that I knew what I know now. I wish that I had known then when I was in the classroom. Because while I was happy to do whatever I could to help those students and support those students, I based most of my strategies on what I was reading in their IEPs or what their case managers would talk to me about. But I didn't do a lot of extra. I didn't know that I needed to maybe use some different strategies. And I would use more data, I think, to identify those needs. So if a student was doing poorly maybe in biology, I needed to look more at the data that we had available in math and reading and see if maybe there was something I could do to support those skills so they would be able to perform better in my class. Now when I'm working with teachers, I use all the resources I can get my hands on, including, as I put there, our MTSS handbook that the district has come out with lots of supporting information for teachers so that they kind of know better what they can do and how to support the kids. My proposed plan is to build off of what teachers already know. So teachers are very familiar with IEPs, 504s. And I think that what we need to do is I know how to read this and I know what it says, but then I think we need to do more professional learning for teachers, give them more opportunities to learn how to implement those in the class. So when I see that a student needs something, what does that look like in practice in my classroom? And so I think that's a benefit to those co-taught classes, is that they have a special education teacher in there that can help them with that. But we have a lot of teachers who don't have that, but still have students that have special needs. And I think that they could really benefit from knowing more what that could look like in their class. And then also how to best determine which strategy to use and when. Because maybe the students don't need certain things all the time, or they need it for a little while to scaffold and then they won't need it as much anymore. I think also what classroom teachers can and cannot do with those students when it comes to curriculum and assignments, because I think teachers are a little nervous to differentiate. I think teachers, they want to do the right thing, they just don't always know what that is. So I think for me, the idea is really just more learning opportunities for them to learn and know more about how they can do these things in their class. And then also opportunities for them to then share amongst themselves what is going on in classrooms and what they are doing that is working really well and meeting the needs of students so that they can learn from each other. As far as funding, I'm really not sure. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking funding would be a factor when it comes time for professional learning. Things like when would we provide that? How would we provide that? Beyond that, I am not certain about the funding impact. I'm hoping to learn a lot from this class, and I know that I will, in terms of special education needs.